Hi, I'm Dr. Pedre and welcome to Conversations. I'm always here to listen, and today I'm exploring what it means to be fearless with my guest, Michelle Barge. But before I get into that, I wanted to say my personal story with fear. Before I went to medical school, I was actually deathly afraid of needles. Actually seems kind of antithetical that a doctor would be afraid of needles. But I actually used yoga and meditation to conquer my fear and was able to become the healer that I am today because of these tools. So today I'm exploring what it means to be fearless and how we can conquer these fears to reach our true potential. So I'm here with my friend, Michelle Barge. Thank you so much for being on Conversations.
Thank you for having me.
Michelle made a remarkable transformation from the security of the corporate world to freelancing as a yoga instructor and marketing consultant. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what went into that process, that transformation that you went through?
I think the first major point was that I felt in my corporate job I could not do the things that I cared about. I didn't have time for my charity work. I didn't have time to go to yoga. I didn't have time to cook dinner. And all these things were making me feel like I wasn't a whole person. I think by 2005 is when I really started feeling that something had to shift for me. So it took me probably 2 years of fearful lack of action to actually doing.
Something that I find with my patients is that their body starts telling them that they're unhappy where they're at. They may start feeling stomach problems or insomnia, not being able to sleep, or panic attacks. How did you deal with these things?
Well, that's, again, very good points and all very true. I think that the first bits that manifested in my body was lack of sleep. I was having a very hard time sleeping and a very hard time getting up. I didn't want to go into my corporate job anymore. And then I also started suffering other health issues. I had free-floating anxiety, as you well know. I would come to your office for acupuncture regularly. And I do think that when I was making this transition, if I look back, I think the real shift is probably after 9/11. I think that in 2001, I know that 9/11 really touched a lot of people in New York in different ways. Working in a big corporate environment, even though I was making a lot of money and didn't have time for my family and my friends and for my charity work and my yoga, was not the way I wanted to live. I would do dream boards and I would cut things out, and as I look back, everything looked the same. It showed me in freedom, it showed me with more leisure time, and the minute we realize that we are here to do good and not to suffer, it changed my whole perspective. So I say to your viewers, think about how you really want to live your life. Paint your own picture.